lies unseen beneath the mist. We walk by faith beneath the skies with promises we've kissed. The world is quiet in the haze, no certain sign is shown, but every step in these strange days is never walked alone. There are traces of grace on the roads we travel, footprints that fade where the journey began, a silent strength in the ties that unravel, God's presence moving in the way that we ran. We follow the calling, a beautiful mystery, leaving our mark on the earth and the air. Oh, footprints of grace, a sacred history found in the whispers and found in the prayer. This path unfolds day by slow day. It's day put together. Jack and Parjo before fading.
Good evening, everyone. And this is Father Alex Gubrin, your companion in this evening's reflection. Footprints of Grace, when grace names the wound, truths that heals, voices that restore dignity. Some wounds are not remembered as pain at first. They are remembered as silence. Some stories do not begin with screams or resistance, but with confusion. With a child learning too early what should never have been learned. There are wounds carried quietly, mistaken for normal, buried so deeply that even the heart forgets they exist. Until one day, a word is spoken, truth is named, and the soul remembers that it has been what it has been holding all along. This evening, on Footprints of Grace, we listen to a story where healing does not begin with forgetting, but with naming the wound. This is a story for those who survive without knowing they were hurts, for those who carried pain without language, for those whose healing began the moment someone finally said, "It was not your fault." The story goes like this. She was a quiet child, rarely spoke, rarely joined others, oftentimes isolated. To the outside world, she was simply shy. But behind that silence was a wound she did not yet know how to name. An uncle introduced her to things a child should never know, touch that cross sacred boundaries, words and action that confused her sense of self. It happened in secret. It happened repeatedly. And because she was a child, she believed it was normal. The abuse stopped only when she was already in high school. He apologized and she said yes. But the weight of it never left her. And as she grew older, the silence changed shape. She became loud, restless, reckless, drinking, skipping classes, searching for something she could not name. Until one day, in a Mariology theology class, a sentence broke through her defenses. You do not need to be a virgin to have purity. What matters is what you are doing now. She did not plan to cry, but the tears came sudden, uncontrollable, and public. For the first time, her body spoke. What her voice had never dared to say, her body proclaimed. That day, she told her story for the first time. Not to accuse, not to dramatize, but simply to be heard. Her formators listened without malice, without judgment. They named what she could not yet say. You are a victim. It was not your fault. And she wrote her story in a diary. And one day, by accident, her family read it. There were tears again. This time, shared. And truth surfaced. Her uncle had harmed another siblings as well. What followed was not instant healing, but something just as holy. Understanding, closeness, honesty, and of course, love. She learned to open herself again to her siblings, to her family, to herself. She was not fully healed. Forgiveness is still a journey. The pain has not disappeared, but grace has begun its work. And for the first time, she is no longer walking alone. I remember John chapter 8, verse 32. It runs like this. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. In the Gospel of John, truth is not mere information, but liberation. For many wounded lives, silence once meant survival, but once protected, eventually imprisons. Grace does not arrive by forcing disclosure. It arrives by creating safety. It comes through as a sentence spoken at the right moment, through listeners who do not exploit pain, through companions who say, your dignity was never lost. Purity was never taken from you. You are not defined by what was done unto you. This is how Jesus heals, not by touching them with truth, but by touching them with truth. Grace does not demand what we forget. Grace invites us to name. And in naming, freedom begins. This story is not rare. It lives in classrooms, dormitories, in families, in parishes, in communities, in the hearts of adults who were wounded as children and never given words for their pain. Many carry wounds they never chose. Many were hurt before they knew how to resist. Many learned silence before they learned safety. Sometimes we mistake holiness for endurance. Sometimes we praise quiet strength without asking what it has cost. But the gospel does not ask us to remain wounded to be faithful. Grace does not erase the past. Grace reclaims the future. Healing does not mean the pain disappears. It means the pain no longer defines who we are. And if you are still killing, if forgiveness feels incomplete, if your wounds still ache, grace is not finished with you. This week, let us pause and ask ourselves gently, what truths in my life still needs a safe place to be spoken? Who has been a voice of grace for me? Someone who listened without judgment. Where is God inviting me to rush healing? Or not to rush healing, but to trust the process. I invite you to choose one act of self-respect, one honest conversation, one step toward the truth. Grace heals at the pace of love. God of truth and tenderness, draw near to all who carry wounds without words. Bless those who are still learning to name their pain. Protect those who speak their truths and for the first time. Heal what was broken in secrecy and in silence. May their lives no longer be shaped by what harmed them, but by the grace that now holds them. And may every step they take from this day forward bear witness that when grace names the wound, healing has already begun. Amen. This is Father Alex Gubrin. Thank you for joining us, and good night. God bless.
A winding road before us lies, unseen beneath the mist. We walk by faith beneath the skies, with promises we've kissed. The world is quiet in the haze, no certain sign is shown. But every step in these strange days is never walked alone. There are traces of grace on the roads we travel, footprints that fade where the journey began. A silent strength in the ties that unravel, God's presence moving in the way that we ran. We follow the calling, a beautiful mystery, leaving our mark on the earth and the air. Oh, footprints of grace, a sacred history, found in the whispers and found in the prayer. This path